$46,900 in the month of August, you can afford a real microphone. I just saw last night, Joni's guy, babe, we got paid $6,000 or something, and we don't ever know what to expect. And I said, well, look around and see who made some cash. And I look at it, I see Krug, $46,000 month to date in August. How about that? Buy a different microphone, Krug, can you? Every 46, but that's with 10 days left in the pay cycle. So congratulations to you, man. But the thing that I want to do is I want to congratulate you on building a business. Remember, my brain is looking at it as what? We've already built it. So I'm going to talk about what you did. This is the part that's crazy. A lot of people that have come here or came here and said, I don't need that. You know, money's not everything. You know, it's not like I got a difficult life. It's not like I got a bad life. Well, nobody ever said any of that stuff to Jim. But what I wish somebody would have told me is, in the same way that a 10,000 square foot house is maybe not everything to everybody. I live in the same house that we built paid cash for in 1998. But I wish I would have had somebody explain to me that to get a lifestyle, to get a free lifestyle of freedom, we needed to start to think different. So can you see the Breyers chocolate? My question is, if, oh, I don't need that, then why in the world don't you always get just chocolate chip cookie dough? See, we have to change our thinking, because sometimes people say, well, I don't need that type of a vacation. Well, then why do you buy Breyers? See what I'm saying? How about this? You say, I don't need that type of stuff. Okay, but why do you buy Nike shoes when you could just go down and get these? See, it's about the changing the mentals. And what I want you to understand is the thing that we need to recognize is everybody wants an upgrade. Ken Kellum, everybody wants an upgrade, Debbie Jewell. Andrea Young, everybody wants an upgrade, but our brains stop at minimal upgrades. They stop at minimal upgrades. Look at this. Girls, I say girls because my wife got this. So my wife got this lower level 103 row K quantity 2 tickets for $331 to Lukey. Okay. And then she does this backstage thing where it was her and 50 women that had dinner with the guy. But what I'm saying is, sometimes people say, I don't need that life. Well, you would do that 331 ticket instead of the what? The 53. You track what I'm saying, you guys? So it's all mental. And what we got to understand is that what Primerica does with this lifestyle thing, it's not miraculous. It's simply adding to what so many people already do. Look what happens with this. So we got the shoes, the ice cream. Now what happens? I don't need to stay in those fancy places. How many times does that happen? Well, I don't need those fancy places. Well, then why do you stay there the last time you went on vacation? So there's a lot of people that would say this would be fine, Billy. I get it. But that's where you stayed, let's say. But see, that's the you know how, Krug, I'm hoping you and Jen can get here on the 11th of October. You know, the company canceled this trip. And so Jody and I got on here, and we're going like for 5 or 7 days in October. We called them up, and we have this favorite room that we like, but that's the Broadmoor. And actually, after last night's pay cycle, I think you should pay for our trip, to be honest with you. Okay. Anyhow, every 46,000, I don't know what's going on in people's lives, but every 46,000 in a month helps. But you guys follow this? Here's the other thing, Jim, a car gets you from A to B. I don't need that crazy stuff. Okay. Well, then why do we not drive something like and by the way, these are awesome off-roading machines, but why don't we have that type of a vehicle and instead we buy those? You see how our brain, I was like, I don't need any of that stuff. But if some people are saying that's fine and you're doing this, well, then what if your brain allowed you to go from this to that? Or maybe from that to this? I don't need that type of a thing. I know, but somebody else said they didn't need that type of thing. There's a reason I'm going here to begin with. I have never seen one human being eat a Hydrox cookie. You're saying, oh, Jim, I don't need that type of lifestyle. Why do you always buy these? See, some of you are saying this is ridiculous. I thought this was a business meeting. You have no idea how much of a business meeting this is. See, the difference between you and me is how I think and what I want out of this for opportunity for me and my family. I did not know that an upgrade was available off of a what? Hydrox. But the moment I tasted Oreos, you never go back. The moment you taste freedom, you never go back. But I'm talking to you about what you did to build your business. What you did is in every area of your life, you made that happen. I'll tell you right now, I've been on 3 Zoom calls today, but I've also painted with my 3-year-old granddaughter. We ran around the rain together and we raced like crazy people on the, so I want it to be super clear. If it's awesome to be able to do something, what happens if the next level of your dream takes place? See, success at all costs is not success. This is all material stuff. But what happens when somebody takes, I'll never forget being on a vacation. We were on vacation for 7 days. It rained 6 of the 7 days. We had a chartered boat out of Florida to go sail fishing. Another trip that I invited Danny and Jen on and they didn't go. But nevertheless, okay, what are you laughing at, Andrea? You didn't either. But the truth of the matter is this. So we went on a trip. They couldn't get us into the ocean. How many times has this ever happened? The vacation didn't work out the way it was, but you had from the 3rd through the 10th or from the 3rd through the 15th, weather, crazy, whatever went down, and you went back from your vacation and it didn't work out. How about just an upgrade? I'll never forget that. Our friends that were with us, they left Sunday and we started our next 7-day vacation when the weather was nice. See, to build your business, you recognized that you really did want an upgrade based on the upgrades you already take today. So what were some of the things that happened? Well, let me show you. I'm going to stop my share here again, and I'm going to share one more time. Morgan Prolix. I'm not sure how to say the last name. It's good to see you. Ramaya Pickett. How about you, super chick? Look at you over there. Man, Holly Larson, love her to pieces. What a sweet lady, good friend. I don't know who the dude is next to her with a beard. Ava and Chelsea. Love Miss Ava, my little precious niece right there. Cameron, look at you, stud. It's good to see these faces. Right on, man. Anyhow, Cameron, is this making sense? We already go for a little upgrade. So what if we took it to the next level? See, this is what I didn't understand. Jeremiah Ward, I didn't know that Hydrox and Oreos was an upgrade, that if all I said, if Primerica allowed me to build a business, Josh Keenan, right? If they allowed me to build a business, it was hard to scout for 3 weeks of my, or 3 months of my life and then go to and spend 3 weeks in the woods and pull up some doggone, what do you call them, binoculars, and have them be all what? Clouded up. That was a lot of effort. See, we all want an upgrade on that stuff. We want it to work. But Jana didn't know it was available, right? That's the thing. So having said that, let me share something with you. All right, I'm going to try real hard to keep this going. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen again. And now I'm going to share. Can you guys see this picture? You can't because I can't. Okay, hold on here a second. Okay, why is this not working? Bear with me, guys. I will get this. I will get this. I want you to see something. Okay. I want you to imagine in your brain, please hear what I'm saying. I want you to imagine in your brain for just a second, a dam that holds water back. I just want you to think about this. Okay, Brooke, can you explain to me how I'm going to have to do this? I have a image on my laptop screen and it's not turning up, but I want you to imagine a dam. You guys, I want you to imagine an enormous dam. Okay, an enormous dam. And you can text me if you like, Brooke, or somebody, whoever's running your tech.
Mr. Riley, this is Andrea.
Hi.
Yes, if you just stop this or share screen, you could share one whole screen. It may just pop it up.
I'm gonna
or send it to me and I'll just put it up.
I'm gonna share the screen. Is that what I'm doing?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Can you see that?
Yes, we
can.
Can
you see the western town? By the way, that's our western town. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
That's kind of cool. There's my dad. My dad and I are great friends to this day. He lives in the marshal's office over. That's just my background screen. But my dad left me when I was a little tiny boy. Never was in my life for 38 years. And now he lives in Remissio. See that Remissio? In Latin, that stands for forgiveness. And my dad, I had a lot of hatred towards my dad. And my dad now lives in a little western town called Forgiveness. And so my father, actually my biological father, lives in Forgiveness in the Marshall's town. And I charge him $100 a month. How about that? $100 a month. He didn't pay his $100 for 7 or 8 months. And I went over and clicked the electrical box and shut his power off. And it's got a little breaker box and I shut it off. And my good buddy Cam was going to help me with some electrical, but never did too. I guess a lot of you guys up there do stuff like that. But anyhow, but I shut the electrical box off and he called me and he's like, son, I don't have any electric. And I said, let me check into it. Did you pay the bill? He said, no, I didn't know I had a bill. I said, well, Dad, do you have air conditioning? He said, yeah. I said, you got a fridge? Yeah. You got hot water? Yeah, I got all that stuff. I don't know. Must not have paid it. Oh my gosh. Well, who do I pay? Well, pay me the $100. I'm trying to go on vacation anyhow, but so fun. But he literally lives in the western town right there. But I want to show you something. Can you guys see this now? You see that dam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I want to talk to you guys really. I want to speak to your intellect, but I want to talk to you. Mr.
Riley, you there?
To your heart for just a moment.
Okay.
Because if you look at this, I mean, think about it. It's a dam that.
Mr. Riley, you're breaking up, sir. Mr. Riley, if you can hear us, you're like frozen. Oh, you must have got kicked off. All right. Well, we will buy some time, help him get back on here. So, but you know, it's amazing. He has told me that story lots of times as far as upgrade, right? And it's just powerful when you think about what sometimes we'll settle for versus what we'll fight for, you know? And I think that it's case in point. It's okay to settle and be where we're at. And that's one of the things we talk about all the time. What's the opposite of success? Well, most people would say failure. But if you really study success, successful people have failed multiple times. You know, case in point, Babe Ruth, right? We all know he's the home run king. But did you know that he's also the strikeout king? He's struck out more than any other player in history. And so people that have failed, right, are also the most successful. So really, the opposite of success is not failure. The opposite of success is settling. Settling for where you're at, settling for what you've been given, settling for the cards that you've been dealt, right? And just rolling, you know, and not ruffling any feathers and just going through the motions. And so I think that's one of the things that we've got to make sure that we don't do as individuals is just settle. You got to continue to fight to not only just get to the next level, but to fight for stuff that's important for you and important to you. And that's would be the thing that I would tell you is, you know, as you're going through this journey.
I'm back, Mr. Krug. I think I'm back, buddy.
Okay. All right, go for it.
I'm sorry about that. I've got it corrected here on our end. I've got 3 different backups, and I have to be honest with you. My second backup, my little 3-year-old granddaughter took it from me, and she took it on the whole other side of the house, and that's why we lost it. How about that? Anyhow, I appreciate that very, very much. But let me now. Can you see my screen, or did I lose it? Okay, I'm good.
You have to
All right, here we go. You got the dam? You got the dam there? Okay.
Yes.
Please hear me. Folks, listen to what I'm saying. I'm talking to you right now. Please hear what I'm saying to you. If you look at this dam, you say, well, what's bad about it? What's good about it? Whatever. But a dam is meant for something pretty cool. This is an epic dam when you think about it. But if you look at this dam and you really look at it, it has a tremendous potential, but is any of it getting used? None of it. None of this is getting used. And what I want you to understand is sometimes when you have a leader, as you built this organization, one of the biggest things that I'm telling you, you're going to have done is you would have allowed somebody to see your potential and speak life into that potential. Sometimes people say, Jim, you make it sound like I'm not doing anything with my life. That's not the point. Jim, sometimes you make it sound like I'm just going around as a loser. That's not the point. What I'm saying to you, or what I'm asking you, or what I'm telling you is this. For you to have that business that has all those rings, what happened is you allowed somebody to what? See what you were capable of and have that come to fruition. See, we look at this and we go, well, that dam, there's just no water. No, it has all this potential, but none of it's being used. None of it's being used. And so you think about that. Am I still sharing my screen? Look at this. You see that magnificent dam. Say, Jim, what's your point on this crap? What's going on in your brain, O'Reilly? No, I want you to even think about stuff from a different view. See, what happens is that first dam didn't look all that weird, all that bad. But what I'm telling you is your regional vice president team, your senior vice president team, your national sales director team is saying your capability, what you were built for, is something special. Folks, I don't know how we've gotten in society to a point that says this. We are supposed to get a good job, pay our bills, take a couple little short vacations a year, invest some energy into some family, and then get old and die. You say, Jim, there's nothing wrong with what you just described. What I'm trying to say to you is we get one shot on this earth. Of course you're supposed to speak into my family, your family. Of course you're supposed to do those types of amazing things. But what about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for 70 years? Think about it from this perspective. How have our brains gotten to the point where what we think we are here for is to literally get up in the morning, and our number one thing in our life becomes what we do for the entire time. Folks, I just want you to think about it. In the beginning of time, I understand everybody's just doing what they can to get by at whatever level and whatever time period in history that they're in. But I'm trying to say to you, to have a life of freedom and options, we've got to go beyond what? Sticking in this moment of this is just the normal process I go through on a daily basis, and this is what I've got for 50 years. I talked to my father-in-law yesterday. They've got irrigation issues. And I was going to hire somebody to go over there. I said, I don't even know what's going on. And I sat there, and it was sad, guys. He worked in a factory his entire life. Went to the same machine. And it's awesome that he took care of his family. It's awesome that he made a living. But it's not awesome that he can't even have any recollection of anything other than going to the doggone factory every day. Why do I say that? Primerica gives you a shot, but you've got to be willing to let somebody say, man, I see the potential. And the other side of that, of what you're supposed to be developed and built for, is dry. I had a mentor that's told me more stuff that's pissed me off than anybody in my entire life. But I want you to know it challenged me to what? Hold the water I was built for. This is why these crazy dams are shown, because I'm saying, look, are you operating at a potential? You know if you are or you're not. And so many times at General Motors, it didn't matter. That Primerica, it does. You got to have a vision for something more, and until you have your own, borrow somebody's and lock on. A clear, concise mental picture is not sort of important. It's critically important. I can't stress to you enough. I'm not trying to motivate you guys, but if you're waking up without a hope, if you're waking up without a great vision, that's a challenge. See, you built a business because you had a vision of where you were going and you locked onto that. You say, Jim, it's easier said than done. Sometimes when people say it's easier said than done, I say, you know what? God has blessed me with a favor-filled and blessed and abundant life. But I came from a broken home and a broken, messed up, jacked up thing. I want you to understand something. There's a bunch of crap that wasn't your fault, just like it wasn't mine. But do you know, in any insurance claim that happens, there's always the insurance company looks at it as whose fault is what? Like in anything, they go, what percentage of fault is this person? Folks, I want you to understand that it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if it was fault or not fault, let me show you something right here. Let me just show you this thing right here. It's crazy. I'm going to show you a whiteboard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to draw on it. I can't believe some of the stuff. If I have a boat and I have a boat, that's a horrible boat. And this boat's going that way and that boat's going that way, and they collided, that would be a problem. But if this boat came over and turned into my lane and collided with me, can I ask you a question? Whose fault is it? It's this boat's fault, unless I could have turned. If I didn't turn, it would be partially my fault. If I couldn't turn and they hit me, that would be hurtful. Whether or not, whatever point in your past, whatever point in your life, you say, well, Jim, I don't come from a wealthy family. I don't come from dreamers. I come from a negative environment. I come from this. I come from that. Ladies and gentlemen, you built your business here because you said, I know that wasn't my fault. But today, the 29th of August, 2020, this is my boat and my people on my boat and my responsibility. So even though that was not my fault, what happened 22 years ago, 14 years ago, even though my dad left me, even though it come from a broken home, even though I was raised in a doggone trailer park, even though all of that stuff was going down, even though all my friends told me I was crazy, even though you don't understand the relationships, the betrayal I've had, what I do understand is that today it's yours and my fault on what happens from here with the people we have in our vessel and the destination that we're going. See, the dreams that are in our boat are our fault. The people that are counting on us are our fault. The folks that are waiting and watching to see what we do with our life, it's our fault. It's so important to understand, to have freedom and options. What you did is you said, I am going to be a person that's willing to be a new wineskin so I can be filled with more than what I've existed with. I'm not going to be a dam that's void of water. I am going to reach my full potential to where you can press that, you can fill it with abundance. And you watch me sing. See, your leaders see you as something magnificent, and you can think that I'm full of crap. You can think that I'm just blowing smoke, falsely stroking egos. But the truth of the matter is, there is not very many places that I've ever found. Wait, no, there's not one that I've ever found that we were not actually created in that book that I read for something. Primerica gives us a chance to go do something big. Upgrade your life. So some of the things that happen, and Danny asked me to talk about this, is alignment. Told me to talk about lifestyle and freedom and overcoming fears. I understand that so much of this is easier said than done, but I do want you to see something. I was literally just reading this morning. First of all, how did I overcome fears? I don't know. But what I do know is this is what I read again. You think about this for just a second. At the end of the day, can you guys see my screen again? At the end of the day, what you realize to have your business is that the business that you built with all those rings is that you're either driven by something, away from something, or towards something. And what happened is I was more afraid of status quo than anything else that would ever keep me from making a phone call, that would ever keep me from following up with somebody. I was personally more afraid. It's kind of like this. We became more afraid of the known than the unknown. So how does one overcome fear? Focus on what you want. I mean this sincerely. If you literally were in a position to have the life that you had dreamed about as a little girl, dreamed about as a little boy, and you knew you could have it, what fear would it be worth? I think so many people are not disciplined. It's not that they're not disciplined or that they're afraid, crazy afraid. I think that they're not clear on what's possible. So I think what happens is once you've had your business, you're going to look back and you're going to go, you know what I did is I focused on what I was going for. And that helped me be brave and courageous to overcome the stuff that would have been a little spooky to me before. Guys, it's crazy to me sometimes. It's crazy to me what happens when a person just believes in somebody's belief in them. There's some great leaders on this call. And I want you to know that sometimes people are just needing to go to work as though it will happen rather than go to work as it might and probably won't. Jody and I were here for 4 years and 11 months. We hadn't built a business. We hadn't done any of that type of stuff. We had made some part-time money. True story. Joe Enser came into my life by the grace of God, or into our lives by the grace of God. I really believe that. And I got a chance to work with him for about 6 months. And one day he called me into his office. And he said to me, he said, what's going on? And I said, man, I'm just doing this and this and this. He says, no, but are you really going for it? So what do you mean? And he said, are you giving it everything? Well, I'm trying really hard. I'm working with youth, and I teach Sunday school, and I'm helping some people with, and I work overtime, and I'm helping some of those youth that, you know, on Friday nights and this, that, and the other thing. And he said, Jimmy, you're acting like the way you do one thing is not the way you can do all things. He said, you know, that's a cop out. He said, you can do all things great. Sometimes you're in a situation where you'll run out of time, but you can do everything good. You can be a great dad and a great husband and a great employee and a great what. He said, the truth of the matter is, you got to decide for that season of your life what you're going to do, and then you got to go to bed every night going for it. And I said, Joe, I'm just afraid. And I was questioning whether or not we could win. I was questioning whether or not this would work. And this is what he said to me. He said, Jim, I believe in you. And I believe that if you get serious about getting people, you're going to win beyond comprehension. He said, I believe you make $25,000 a month if you get serious about recruiting and building and promotions. And I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, I'm very serious. And I went home that night. I'll never forget this. 4 years and 11 months. 4 years and 11 months I've been here. And I went home and I said, Jody, I want you to know that I don't believe that we can win. I was just very transparent. I say this almost every time I talk, so probably most of you heard this. But I want you to know. And she's like, how am I supposed to be encouraged by this? And I said, because here's what's crazy. It's because I've got up every day of my life, the last 4 years and 11 months, going through the motions, but not realizing that I was going to win. So I wouldn't go for it. Braxton, I wouldn't go for it. Chandra, I wasn't going for it. And you and I both know what we're talking about. Like when you're going for it, you know you're going for it. Calvin, because I didn't know that I would win, because I was lacking belief. I didn't see the dam that I was capable of becoming. And I looked down and I started looking at it. I said, Lord, forgive me. You know, I could check off all the right boxes as a Sunday school teacher. And I tried to be a good husband and a good dad. I could check them all off and go, that's a noble thing. But was I going to bed at night, really looking back at my day and saying, did I go for it? And so what happened was I went home and I told my wife, I still don't believe, babe, but I am done working with my limited belief, and I'm going to borrow Joe's confidence, and I'm going to work tomorrow and the next day and the next day as though it will happen, regardless what takes place, because I am not going to live and die, babe, and not freaking know what I'm capable of. Because I cannot go out of this thing. I can't. Knowing I didn't try. See, some of you right now know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to bed and you got more energy. Well, you don't. You're tired because you didn't use the energy. But you got to get in alignment with your leadership, folks. There has to be an urgency. You got to get unified. Let me put it to you in perspective. I was an alignment guy at the dealership. I would have 2 brand new cars be bought. I wish I could have the time to show you the slides. They would be bought, 2 exact cars. And 12,000 miles later, one car would come in and the right front tires burned off the car. The other one would run 55,000 miles, perfect tires. When I'm talking about getting in alignment and getting in unity, what I'm trying to tell you is that one tire went 12,000 miles, the other tires went 50,000. It was the exact same car off the exact same what? Assembly line. And one of them got 32,000 miles more. If you ever feel like I used to, where everything was just a scrub, think about how bad that tire had to be scrubbing to go away in 12,000 miles. That's a lot of friction. It's a lot of heat. It's a lot of crazy. See, getting in alignment with your leadership does not mean you agree with them every time. Put pride and ego on a shelf, get in unified alignment, one voice, Krug Nation, one moment, one movement, and get this recruiting thing crazy. Get this thing built crazy. Get in alignment and get the 50,000 miles out of it. If 60,000 is possible, get 60,000 miles out of these doggone tires. But it has to be in alignment. There has to be a merger. There has to be what? A commitment, guys, to what? Go to bed at night going, I'm going to take advantage of this shot. I want you to understand. Think about your day when you're on vacation, and I'll end with 3 things. You are looking into the eyes of a man that is not supposed to win. I had 4 buddies, my closest friends. They all told me I was crazy. They all told me they missed me. They all told me, why are you doing that? They all told me, oh, you're better than us now. They all told me all those things. And one of them's dead. One of them went on permanent disability at 30 years old because he was perma-fried from drugs. One of those people today is out of the West Virginia State Penitentiary for running drugs in a semi. And the last one, I went to a trailer park in Avondale, Arizona, 4 years ago now, just to say hi. And I went there, the guy was fried. I asked to go to the bathroom before I left, and I said, where's it at? He tells me I go down and went to the wrong room. He's got a meth lab. You hanging with toxic people, folks? You're staring at a guy that shouldn't have won, but Primerica didn't care, and they don't care who you are, but you have to do the work. And you got to get in alignment. You got to put your pride and ego. You see the picture that I'm talking to you about? That picture is when somebody puts pride and ego on a shelf and says, Coach, tell me what to do. You don't need Mickey Mouse. I don't need Mickey Mouse. I don't need somebody lying to me. Danny and Jen Krug are not going to tell you something that's not in your best interest. Andrew and Eric Young are not going to tell you that. I get emotional because these people, I know how much they love people. But at the end of the day, you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, I'm serious, champions. Sonia, I love my wife and I and daughter love you so much. I'm now seeing different people. Gosh, I just want you guys to go get big. Go get big. Danny and Jen are fine. This is not about them getting another $46,000 a month. That'll happen. But it's your turn, Hernandez's. Scott, it's your go, man. Let me just clear this and I'll end here. It's supposed to be done in 1 minute. 102. 4 years and 11 months on my belief. Can you guys see this? Recruited 76 people total. I've been saying 17. I did not lie. That is not true. 76 people in 4 years and 11 months. Let's break that down to the quality of leader that you're listening to right now. I'm such an amazing, brilliant man, Danny Krug. In 4 years and 11 months, we recruited 76 people. On my belief. You got me? Because I woke up every day, Debbie. Gina, happy birthday to you, sister. I'm seeing you now. Love that person. She's so precious. But 4 years and 11 months, 76 recruits on my belief. And if I would have waited another 10 years for my belief to change, God only knows what would have happened. But I've said to you guys today, get in unified alignment. You want a lifestyle? Guys, I've been at a boat in San Diego 5 weeks in a row. I don't say any of this crap to be impressive. There was a neighbor across the dock from us that was saying, hey, you and Jody were the talk of the town. I said, boy, this is great. I said, what do you mean? He said, I had friends over here 3 weeks ago. I went to school with them since I was 8th grade. And they saw you guys packing up and leaving. And they said, hey, your neighbor moving? And he said, no, they're going back home. What do you mean going back home? Said, yeah, they come and go all the time. So what do you mean they come and go all the time? Yeah, they're from Arizona. He said, literally for the next 2 hours, that's all they talked about. The coolest thing ever, have that life. As we've had that life since we were 37. I'm 53 years old. This is not to impress you. 4 years and 11 months, 76 recruits on my belief. And then all of a sudden, we say, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow somebody's confidence in me, and I'm going to get unified, and I'm going to put my pride and ego on a shelf, and I'm going to get to work, and I'm going to accept that I want upgrades in my life, and I'm going to quit hanging out with toxic people, and I'm going to listen to somebody else, and I'm going to work like that. And the next year, we recruited 375 recruits. That's not so you guys are happy for us. I'm saying we got in unity. We got unified. We got serious. We borrowed somebody else's confidence. And we literally worked every day as though it would happen, Braxton and Chandra Brown. I can't wait to have a cup of coffee with you guys. I look at you guys and I get emotional, everybody. It's because I feel like I'm talking to my grandbabies, and I get it, but I just wish you understood how your life could be if you just took this freaking thing serious. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you're a junkyard dog, if you're a misfit, everybody told you you're crazy, you're a dreamer. See, this is all the crap, Jeremiah, that I dealt with. And then Primerica didn't care. Gigi, you see this? They didn't care. The last slide I'll show you is this. You see that? See, God is still writing our story. You understand that if you're here, when you finally believe that you're here for a reason, right here, right now, the leaders that you have are supposed to be there. Then can you take the message that you've gotten today from this great team, from this great leadership, and don't steal the pen? By the way, you probably ought to figure out that this is where you're supposed to be, whether it be part-time, full-time, or big time. But my goodness gracious, whatever it is, figure out you're supposed to be here so the questioning stops, because it takes too much energy in the question. Energy that you could spend building a lifetime of legacy for your family. Man, I hope this thing has helped you guys. It is so awesome. I miss people in person. I just love folks, man. And if you could only see what your leaders see. Danny promised me, he said, Jimmy, what we're going to do in the second half of this year is staggering. Staggering. He said, you wait. When you see these people, you'll know why. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I look around at some of the champions. I see future millionaires right here with Primerica. Danny and Jen Krug, I love you two to pieces. Oh my gosh. Dave Buckley, love you, buddy. You're precious human beings. You guys have got great humans. And I think it's go time. Cast your vision, lock arms, get in unity, and go build something special. Danny Krug, turn it back to you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Big deal. So, wow, what an amazing day. Man, oh man, I hope you're coming out of this going, man, my batteries are charged. And again, you got to borrow sometimes the confidence and the belief that other people have, even when you don't have it. And I can remember that many, many times over the years. And so, but we want to head out of the gates. And I'm going to throw out a challenge to you guys. Okay. I just think that when you feel good, you got to do good. And so Mr. O'Reilly is willing to share what he took away from his time with Mr. Doug Hartman this week. And so for those of you guys that get on Coffee with Krugs in the morning, we went through one of the books that Doug wrote, Leadership Through Discipleship. Doug Hartman is a senior national sales director, multimillionaire in the company, legend, overrides 25% of the company. He's got like 700 offices. So that's 700 RVPs that he's promoted, okay, in his organization alone. And Mr. O'Reilly got time with him this week. So I said, hey, man, would you be willing to share your conversation? And so he's like, oh, man, absolutely. And so he's willing to do that. Okay. And so I want to make that available to everybody. So that'll be tonight at 7 o'clock on Zoom, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Okay. And so I'll make that available. But here's the deal. Okay. And so we're going to challenge you. You got to put what you took and put it into play. So anybody that sets up 3 qualified appointments between now, right, and 7 p.m. Mountain Time, right, you're going to get invited to participate in that. Okay. And a qualified appointment, really simple. They got to be married, got to have kids at home, and they got to have a job. Okay. So that's a qualified appointment. And so you set up, right, 3 qualified appointments coming out of this event. And you're going to get invited to plug into that tonight at 7 o'clock. Okay. And you can just tell when you get a chance to spend time with Mr. O'Reilly, it's not normal time. Right. And so that's not, and he'll take questions as well, is what he just said on there. And so he'll take questions. And so it'll be Q&A. And again, you want to fight to get to the smallest room. And so that's a big dang deal. And in fact, what I want to do is I'm going to offer a little cash bonus. All the RVPs are going to be a part of this. And so the 3 fastest are going to get rewarded. So the first one to do it right out of the gates when we're done. Now, don't be cheating. Don't be cheating. Okay. You can't do it until we hang up. All right. So no cheating here, yo. Okay. But the first one, all right, I'm going to give you a $50 bonus. The first one to get her done. Second one's $25. Third one's $25. Okay. And so got that little challenge right out of the gates, and you can get some extra goodies tonight. All right. But the second challenge I'm going to do is we got to put this into play, and we got to have the rubber meet the road. And so anybody that between now, he's going to match that. Look at there. So that means that's $100 for the first one to get her done, and then 50 and 50. Okay. But the second challenge is that, right, we have something called Crusader. A Crusader is somebody that's done 2 events. Okay. So they've either helped 2 families with insurance, or they've got 2 recruits, 2 new teammates, or 1-and-1, but they did 2 events. So anybody that gets 2 events between now and month end is September 1st at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. So that's 11 o'clock Central Time, right? If you're Pacific, it's 9 o'clock Pacific Time, okay? But 10 o'clock Mountain Time, right? Anybody that gets 2 events, okay, you're going to get a one-on-one virtual training with anybody you want within OEM, okay? So in OEM, we have about 40 RVPs, and so you and your personal RVP will work together and figure out who would be the best fit for you to get some one-on-one coaching with one of the RVPs that are a part of our OEM organization. Okay, so you can get some one-on-one time on that. And then I wanted to put a little kicker on there. And so the first one to do that, you're going to get a $100 bonus. Okay, so the first one to get her done, $100. Second one, $50, and third one, $50. All right, so there's a little cash incentive there to get that done. That's for the entire team. And thank your RVPs on that, because they're the ones that are taking care of that. All right. So thank your RVPs for stepping up and going, man, we're willing to put our money where our mouth is and helping people get stuff done. So, but anyway, so we got 3 appointment challenge for a Zoom training tonight with Mr. O'Reilly, talking about his conversation with Mr. Hartman. And then, right, anybody that gets 2 new events between now and month end, they're going to get one-on-one virtual training, any questions, anything they want to talk to people about, right, to help them grow their business. with one of the OEM RVPs. Okay. And so anyway, so we love you guys, man. This is exciting. And so I want you to take this and go run with it, man. Let's go run. Let's take all this stuff, decide what you want to get out of this thing, and then let's go make it happen. Okay. So we love you guys. Have a great rest of the day. And yeah, let's go make it happen. All right. Okay. God bless you. Thanks, everybody. All right. Go.